Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Carmela's Rasslin Radio Relived. I'm so excited every time we do this podcast. I am so excited.
I know.
My buddy Jeannie, my pal, my beautiful friend. How are you, honey?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I know you're good.
I'm excited too.
Won.
Yes.
Won?
Yes. Thank God they won. Yeah. No, I'm excited for this one too.
Yeah, we're going to have a great show.
Yes.
Yes, it's going to be a great show. We have listed one guest, but because we're always going to have Bay on for a while before the show. Now, we're going to announce a couple things. Don't forget, May 3rd of 2025 is the WrestleCon and the wrestling show, okay? The WrestleCon tickets are $20. The wrestling show tickets are whatever you decide to spend. However, keep in mind that they are two different prices, okay? We are going to have podcasts every single week between Joel's people for the show and Bay, and then we're going to have our own people. Between now and then, I also want to do a memorial kind of thing for Larry Winters. I want to do a special podcast for Andre the Giant, and I want to do a memorial for Bruno Sammartino. So we're going to do that in between too. Got a lot of people signed up, a lot of people going. It was pretty cool. We were able to, we're going to talk a little bit about where we went Saturday night. Okay. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff, but let's start right now by bringing in our guest. He is our guest of honor. Love him dearly. Yes. We may have him and his girlfriend. It looks like we are going to welcome one of the most incredible wrestlers from the TWA and the ECW. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Johnny Hotbody and Erica. Hey, guys.
Woo!
Hi, how are you? How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Erica, how are you?
A little nervous.
Yeah, she's never done anything like that.
It's just us. It's just us.
Just like we were at Joel's having meatballs, right? Just like then. Just what we do here is we try to have this be like basically a living room conversation. It's not like other podcasts where we slam you with a bunch of questions. We don't harass. We don't do anything like that. It's a conversation about whatever Johnny wants to talk about. Okay. He's the guest. You know, you can chime in anytime you want, honey. He's the guest. We want to talk about whatever Johnny wants to talk about, because he's the star, okay? But in the meantime, we're also going to bring on, because we have our other guest doing what he's our regular guest. He is going to give us some updates as we go along, and he's going to be on here to harass Johnny a little bit. You don't mind, Johnny, do you?
No, not at all.
Yeah, he's already shaking his head like this. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Bay Ragney.
Yay! I gotta harass this guy right next to me instantly.
Sure do.
Because not only do I love this guy to death, but I am angry like a mofo at you because you're not wearing my shirt.
Oh no,
Johnny, that's right.
I was going to wear it, but once you wear something as brilliant as that, it's kind of like if you wear it again, people think you don't do your laundry, and I have a lot of dirty laundry. You know that.
But the people who are going to watch, right? But the people who are going to watch the podcast never saw that shirt, honey.
Okay, well, if they come down to the arena, it's going to be there. It's Barry.
Yes, I'll be wearing it.
You know, I might put it up for auction quite seriously, and whatever may be raised from it. I think it might be well suited that some of the old timers that can't get around, like myself and others that have,
like Cauliflower Alley.
Yeah, and they're exactly, Cauliflower Alley. Try saying that one. Wow.
Try saying it 10 times. No, but you know, Johnny, I think that's wonderful. I really do. I think that's very kind of you. We're also going to do a tribute show to the Cauliflower Alley. I'm going to get a hold of Rich Engling, and we're going to get that started as well. But let's start with you first. I want to know a little something about you. I want you to tell me. I'm dropping here. Okay. I want you to tell me whatever you want to tell me the way you want to tell me. Okay. I want you to tell me what made you like wrestling and what got you started in wrestling.
Okay. 61 years old I am. So you figure 5 years old, I'm watching TV, I guess, with my grandfather, seeing Freddie Blassie file his teeth and biting the foreheads of guys, and the X going up on the screen, and George the Animal Steel, same thing, and Bruiser Brody, all the hardcore guys. They really drew me into the love of it, but it was my grandfather that brought me to the show that actually, turned me on to it. From there, you figure Channel 48, watching it on Channel 48.
I remember that.
I'm from
Yeah.
South Philadelphia. A lot of people like to think that Channel 48 never even existed, but yeah, it did. And you will watch Wee Willie Weber, Ultraman.
Yeah.
These are things Johnny Hotbody watched as a kid. But yeah, I think the blood was when I actually decided that that's what I was going to do. You fast forward a little bit, I'm actually getting a job at the Philadelphia Spectrum. I'm setting up the arenas at around 22 years old. Go a little further, doing steroids out of my mind. I start getting size, down the arena, seeing the shows, and I hear WIP, Rasslin Radio, Carmela Panfil, her husband Paul, Joel Goodhart, and I'm calling in, and I'm running my mouth, and I'm down the Civic Center. The next thing you know, I'm meeting with Sandy Scott. He's like, find a school. I run into Tony Stetson, who I'm not supposed to even bring this up, but maybe I should back up a minute, because legendary Tony Hitman Stetson, Tony Mateo, is from my neighborhood, South Philly. He sneaks me up to the Monster Factory one day when Larry Sharp wasn't there, so he couldn't get me for $50. And he lets me hit the ropes, do all that good stuff, take the hip toss, drop kicks, whatever. And he goes, "You think you want to do this?" And I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll be getting back to you. A little bit later, I'm at the Monster Factory. I meet up with Gary Wolf, Anthony Durante, Sweet Daddy Falcone, Dennis
Wow.
Allen. Yeah.
Those are some old names.
Well, I'm an old man. What makes
Oh,
you think that you're talking to a youngster just because of my lovely little...
She is gorgeous. She's gorgeous.
Thank you.
But well, I am older than you, honey.
Thank you. Erica, you should say thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, so...
That's okay, Erica. I'm older than you, Johnny.
Not by much.
No, but, I go back that far.
I just smoked a lot of marijuana and did a lot of steroids, so I preserved well, But, yeah, truth. And so I'm the Monster Factory. I'm going up to the WWF at the time, doing jobs. Got to meet a lot of the great old time legends. Was taken with it, and I'm doing shows for Dennis Caroluzzo and Larry Sharp, and it's so. And he's like, "Well, you got to expand your horizon." And I run into Joel, at like with you with the radio show. I'm calling in, going forward again, and next thing you know, I'm being booked on cards. I was able to start a feud on WIP radio. Tony Stetson and I were in a little bit of argument, words, next thing you know, we're wrestling each other and we're main event. And never thought it would ever happen. And if it really wasn't for Wrestling Radio, Joel Goodhart, and the chance that he gave me, there would have never been, truthfully, the Johnny Hotbody that you guys like to say existed. But in my mind, I was a legend in my own mind. I was a local star, and I was bitter, and I really was about the business. Things turned south after Joel, and I'm told I'm not allowed to talk about everything I really want to talk about. So, this is what makes this a
That's
little
not the
bit
reason
hard
I'm
for me.
here. I'm not here. I'm not here to police
No,
you.
I understand that, Bay. I do understand that, but I'm doing. I had a lot of heat in the game, and I created my own nightmares, truthfully, and I made a lot of enemies by opening my mouth, not taking shit from Paulie Dangerous, and there was another Yahoo that used to talk from the burning bush. He was but I was afforded the championships. I was afforded great tag team partners. I was made a star by a promoter who had the greatest idea that I think that was ever to be taken on, which was the territories. He took the territory locals, which we were really nobody but jobbers, because that's all there was. If you were a local, the chances of a Johnny Hotbody being a Johnny Hotbody in WWF were like, I was there. I was in the ring with Ultimate Warrior. I was in the ring with the Powers of Pain, Tully Blanchard, Iron Anderson, the Bushwhackers, and I could keep going on and on. I cleared the locker room with Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, and a lot of the great local guys, like, seriously, Gary Wolf, Anthony Durante, tag team extraordinaire. They were great. Wow. The names are like so many of them. The list goes on and on and on. And quite seriously, to be honored in the way that these guys are looking to drop my name from a banner, I feel fortunate, because to me, I don't even belong there. I seriously didn't think I would ever be there. And I was just living a dream.
Okay, now wait a minute, 1 second. Before we go any further, I want to announce the petition for the banner. Bay, God bless Bay. He's been putting up the petition for the banner. He's been putting it up and putting it up. This gentleman right here, Johnny Hotbody, is one of the people that we mention all the time for the banner. It's Johnny Hotbody, DC Drake, who you've seen on our show before, Larry Winters, the late Larry Winters, God bless his soul, Joel Goodhart, and Tony Stetson. Oh my God! Don't tell Tony Stetson I forgot him, Johnny.
Oh my God!
I won't say anything about that. Now you bring up.
But I didn't forget you. I didn't forget you. But well, no, seriously.
I've been watching, and I've seen you slip up, and Jeannie had to remind you. I know Jeannie's a bigger fan of mine than probably Bay is, and that's Bay's pretty big.
Well, as a fan, yes.
Jeannie could probably be my daughter, and I'm old, so we have to get that out of the way, okay? But no, I am honored, first of all, to know you. Secondly, I am honored to be able to announce your name as one of the names on the banner, and I'm more than honored to have you on the show. Now, I know that there's some things that don't want to mention, or you were told you shouldn't mention, but within reason, I don't understand that.
Well, before we just do that, Bay, is there an update on how many signatures we have for the banner?
The banner is at number 669.
Oh, it went up.
We're getting close to 7.
It's getting there. It's getting there each day. We're getting a step closer. And I got to say this too. This guy next to me, like I could cry, like the love I have for that guy.
Wow, Bay.
Seriously.
Wow.
The love and
Well,
respect
thank
I
you.
have for him. Seriously.
Thank you, man. I love you too, bro. For real, man. You took shit from me when I was a
I
piece.
took so
I
much
had an
shit from
ego.
him.
I had an ego bigger than the. I'm only 5'6.5" if I'm lucky, 5'7" in bedroom slippers. I don't know, man. And I gave guys a lot of crap like I was somebody. I really did. And quite seriously, if it wasn't for DC Drake, Tony Stetson, Larry Winters, and Joel Goodhart, Johnny Hotbody would be raising that banner as a janitor.
Oh, I don't believe that.
You know what's funny
Yeah,
though? Like,
yeah, quite seriously. They did a lot for my career. They really did. And they didn't have to do anything for me. I was nobody. I had help from those guys. I had help from Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Ivan Koloff, Nikolai Volkov. But you know what? Those guys didn't do for me for real, as much as a Glenn Osborne, as much as a
Right.
Jimmy Giannetti. You see, those are the guys that belong up there, not me.
Don't say
No,
that.
you do. You
They
do
made
belong up
me
there.
look good.
You really
They made
do.
me look good. Thank you. I'm honored. I am so honored that people feel this way. But truthfully, the craft is made by two people, not one. And it takes the brain of a person to see the talent in the local guys and put them on a card when seriously, those other guys that we used to be. I had Bruno Sammartino watch a steel cage match between Tony Stetson and I. And
Well,
David
let me tell you.
Sammartino. Yeah, you know what? Listen, as a kid, I never liked the good guy. My guy was like superstar Billy Graham when he was in the ring against
Now you're like
Bruno.
Jeannie.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry, Carmela, but that's just Johnny Hotbody couldn't have been a bad guy if it wasn't for bad guys like that. For me to inspire,
Oh, you're
my
right. I
craft from.
understand.
I only copied Bruiser Brody, the Sheik, Abdul the Butcher. God, I love Abdul. Abdul. He was such a gentleman to me. Like I'm saying, these guys, Terry Funk, Kevin Sullivan, those are the guys that like the banner up there. Me, I'm just lucky. And I thank everybody and anybody that signs that. I only think truthfully, maybe 5 people may have signed that for me. The rest is for Larry. The rest is for Drake, and the rest is for my buddy Tony. Don't get mad, Tony. I love you, Tony.
Let me tell you something, okay? I don't agree with you, and I'm going to tell you why. I never saw you wrestle in person. I am going to be honest with you, but I have seen your matches on YouTube, you and Tony. And let me tell you something. You deserve to be on the banner. I'm not kidding. Okay.
Thank you,
The
Carmela.
matches that you had were unbelievable. The matches you had with Tony Stetson, I got to tell you, were probably in the caliber of some of the best, most incredible matches I have seen. You guys literally went tooth and nail, like to the point where you didn't care if you hurt yourself. Didn't care.
We
No,
did.
I know. You can
We
see
did.
it.
And, when you have a promoter believing in you and you have so many names that you have to perform in front of, it's like Grammy night. What are these amateur clowns going to do on the card? Listen, Tony led me around like Ginger Rogers led Fred Astaire. And I say that because that's coming from I'm old.
I love that. No, let me tell you, that is
But
a perfect analogy.
Tony led me around, Carmela. If Tony didn't, like his ability to judge the crowd and feed me where I was supposed to be in the beginning. In the beginning, 100% of that was Tony. Maybe on the end of our feud, which I ended, not Tony, I decided that the promoters didn't deserve it. They didn't want to pay us. You know, I'm going to go crazy. They didn't want to pay us. They didn't. You know, once Joel was out of the picture on
Mhm.
on one of the slimiest fucking.
It's okay.
You're
It's
good. You're
okay.
good.
You can say it.
I
Just
can't.
take your
I
time.
can't say the burning bush. Listen,
Okay.
quite seriously, once that man was out of the picture, you know, Tony and I didn't deserve the paydays that we were getting.
No,
You
no,
know,
you didn't.
seriously.
No,
But we did deserve more than $50 and a pat on the shoulder. And I
no.
wasn't going to do that for him and that creep Paul. I'm going to say Paul. I'll skip the other guy. I cannot listen, man. All these people are hoodwinked by that creep. The best, you know what he was good for? Taking pictures in the locker room. That's what he was good for. The rest of his career, if he wasn't such a little, I'm not allowed to say these things, but he got his career on the asshole of Vince McMahon.
Oh, definitely.
If it
I
wasn't for
agree.
him, you
I
know,
agree.
he invaded, and this is how he invaded. Everybody gets it wrong. He invaded a territory that DC Drake, Larry Winters, Joel Goodhart, Tony Stetson, and Johnny Hotbody laid the foundation for. You know, you get the business after you get over your ego, but what you don't get is why we were stepped on, made the territory, got stepped on to put the boys from New York over that Vince already had an eyeball on because he's a butt pirate.
Exactly. But you know what, Johnny, and I understand what you're saying because some people don't want to give credit where it's due. Some people take things like you're saying where the foundation was laid and then they take it and they run with it. And that's not right. It's not right. I don't care who you are, okay? It's not right. But you know what? Everybody who's listening right now, go to YouTube, type in Tony Stetson and Johnny Hotbody, and trust me when I tell you, you will not be disappointed. Okay. Now, Johnny, I'm going to ask you to hold on for 1 second. Bay, do you have how many announcements do you have for tonight?
I have one announcement.
Okay. Do you want to
announce.
say it now or do you want to say it later?
I'll tell you what. This is your show. You tell me. You're the boss.
I am the boss, but I like to make sure that my guests are happy. Okay, we've been on now for about 20 minutes, so I think it's a good idea to say we can go back and refresh it 10 times if we want to. But give us the announcement.
All right, let's do the announcement. So we're going to announce the next match.
Okay.
We signed this match this week. Some phone calls were made with Joel, myself, and the parties involved.
Okay.
And let's lay the ground. This show is about so much. It's about nostalgia. It's about reunions. It's about history. And yes, a major focus is naturally the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, but it goes back even further to Joel's days with you, Carmela, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And this match is going to have some of the people that were not only involved in Tri-State, but were going back to the days of Joel, Carmela, and Paul. So we are going to have a Legends tag team match. On one side, we're going to have the team, the Memphis Mafia, Wildfire, Tommy Rich, teaming up with Doug Gilbert, the brother of Eddie Gilbert.
Oh my God. I'm dying. I got chills.
And they will both naturally be at WrestleCon. They are taking on the team of a person who appeared on the very first show that Joel and Carmela promoted. He was then known by his real name of Troy Martin. But the franchise, Shane Douglas,
Wow.
will be wrestling as one half of Team Extreme,
Oh wow.
and his partner is a mystery partner.
Oh, I wonder who that
Oh.
is.
Did I raise my hand here?
Yes, John. Go ahead.
If you could put Paulie Dangers on the other side of that ring, you could get me in. I'll be like more than happy to jump in the ring. As a matter of fact, I take him in a singles match, steel cage, MMA
I
style,
love
bare
you.
knuckles. No,
I love you.
I'm joking.
I love you.
This resentment of things 30 years ago. I put it behind me.
I know.
joke.
I know.
I have to build the drama. This is Johnny Hotbody. I have to be the bad guy. If I'm too nice, everybody goes, no, something happened, man. This is what happened.
I gotta say this. I've known Johnny now 30, almost 35 years. And for those early days of my career, I was very intimidated by Johnny because, as he said, he treated me like
he was the bad boy. Yeah.
So I was very intimidated by him. And then through the years, becoming true friends, in and outside the business as adults and men. And especially this past year, after we've been doing these interviews together and being able to talk, and especially being at Joel's a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I got to say, being able to have a true adult grown conversation with Johnny and talk to him about things and seeing the look. Hey, that's impressive for us guys because, as people know, most men in the wrestling business are not adults. But having that conversation with Johnny and honestly, John, seeing the look on your face, like it was kind of a look of shock, horror, but yet you got it. It was like, wow. It was like one of the most meaningful times of my wrestling career because I truly do. And I know he doesn't believe this, but I truly do think the world of you. And a funny story of, my introduction to independent wrestling was Autumn Armageddon 1990, the weekend before I started my wrestling training. So my true first time seeing both Johnny and Tony, they're in this. I don't even remember what. Maybe was it? I actually just looked it up. It was the hair versus hair match they did at the Civic Center.
Never ever use never ever use those clippers with someone whose hair is wet. They'll never go through. I should have bought dog clippers because that was the dog Tony was that I beat. Yeah, but go ahead. I'm
Johnny, I'm a hairdresser, and trust me, I agree with you. Never use razors on wet head. But I'm going to tell you a little story. And I've said this before, but I don't know if you heard it or not. Tommy Rich spent quite a lot of time at my house when Joel and Paul and I were together, and it was great. We had a great time. We really did. I had this huge Lincoln Continental. We had bought from Buddy Rogers, and I swear that car looked like it was a small hotel. It was so big, and I loved that. And we had all the wrestlers in there. We were having a ball. But they were eating dinner at my house. I had cooked, like I did for a couple weeks ago. And Tommy Rich needed a haircut in the worst way. He really did. And I just said, I'm a hairdresser. So he was in my kitchen after we were done eating and everything was cleaned up. So I started cutting his hair. Now, remember, years ago, he used to wear it all down in the front like bangs. And then he had the sides just hanging. Well, his head was like Abdullah or Dusty Rhodes. It was so cut up and so messed up that when I was cutting his hair, I'm putting the scissors here and I'm going like this. The tip of the scissors literally got stuck in one of the grooves of his head. And I'm like, oh, dear God. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I said, don't worry about it. My scissors is stuck in your head. I didn't even push it, okay? Because you know as well as I do that once you keep cutting like that, it does either one of two things. It either gets rock hard or it gets so soft that if you just go like this to it, it starts bleeding. Okay. But I cut several wrestlers' hair, but it was his hair that I cut. And when we went back to our radio show, when we were all together, I had this little romance going on with Jerry Lawler, and he was listening on the phone, and we were talking about me cutting Tommy Rich's hair and blah blah blah. And then Jerry Lawler comes on the radio show and he goes, "Excuse me, Carmela, did I just hear that Tommy Rich was at your house?" And I'm like, "Uh-oh, yeah, you did hear that. I'm sorry." He's like, "I thought we had something nice together," and it was so good. We had so much fun. But anyway, yeah, he was at my house. I can't, I really would love to be able to see him again. He was
you will on May 3rd.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was a very, very good person. He was a very kind man, and I loved him dearly. He really, really was kind and wonderful. The franchise, I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to say this publicly, not on my best list today. Jeannie, I'm sure you feel the same. Yeah, we have to have a little talk, Jeannie and Troy and I have to have a little talk. If I get to see him, I will talk to him. But
interesting.
We'll see about that. But we are going to talk one way or another. But now let's hold on with Bay for a little bit, and let's go back to you, Johnny. I did a lot of reading about you today. I went onto your Wikipedia and I went and looked at stuff about you. Erica, there's stuff you don't know. What?
I want to hear this. I want to hear.
Wait. What did you say, Erica?
Did you see his net worth?
No, they didn't put that up there, but it might. But those looks at your curtains, it's got to be millions. I'm telling you. All right. But anyway,
5 million, I think it was.
Wow, that's really good.
Really?
Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Johnny, I'm coming to dinner.
Tony also. Get a load of that. Tony also.
You want 2 girlfriends, Johnny? I'll come over too, right?
I want to look up my net worth.
It's amazing.
My net worth says, really, Carmela? That's all it says, really? Okay. But anyway, no, I wanted to talk to you. I also read about when you had the tag team belts with Chris Candido. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you guys were called the Suicide what?
The Suicide Blondes.
Suicide Blondes, exactly. And I want you to tell me a little bit about that, please. Tell us a little bit about how that came to be. How did you hook up with Chris Candido? How did that part go?
Oh, wow.
I'm hitting you down below there, ain't I?
Yeah, because seriously, all right. I believe it may have been Larry Sharp and Dennis Carvaluzzo.
Okay.
We've gotten together there, wound up on a outdoor show. Somehow we're at, this is for Joel, or maybe you could help me. Bay, could you tell me where I wrestled with him at? Where was it exactly?
Wait,
seriously, was it TWA or ECW?
I think it was ECW, Johnny.
Okay.
Which one?
Chris Candido at the Suicide Blondes.
Oh, ECW. Yeah.
Okay.
ECW.
Yes. We went from Dennis Carvaluzzo, Larry Sharp to ECW. Here's a little footnote. So he's Nature Boy Buddy Rogers' grandson.
Wow.
This was on the work.
Okay.
I'm teamed up with him, I believe, because Joel Goodhart. Check this out. Joel Goodhart, before he actually went flatlined with the business, I had Kerry Von Erich, Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, and Nature Boy Buddy Landell in my house.
Wow.
My son's wrestling Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. He pinned him in the thing. Joel was there also. I think we were going to do this big thing. I was supposed to go to Saudi Arabia. Kerry Von Erich wanted to take me there. He was a dynamite guy, man. What
Yeah.
a sad thing here.
That's
But
very
anyway,
sad.
Chris Candido and I are now ECW, and I think what's his name? The dude that runs his mouth a lot more than me, Jim Cornette. Yeah, me and Jim Cornette both agreed that Paul Heyman is a Hyman. Just to put that out there. Okay, but anyway, Chris Candido gets sucked up to up to Ohio Valley, and our gimmick, they put Bruce Pritchard with Chris, and they do the gimmick to the WWF as the Heavenly Bodies. But it was me and him that got put together by Carluza. We had so much fun. Let me backtrack a bit. Chris was a hell of a guy. Listen, I'm out of my mind in my career, and I'm believing the hype. And the ring rats are running wild. And there's this little rat named Tammy Rat. And she's devastated by my good looks and hot body, of course. And my ex comes out of the runway. And I see her. My heart starts going. Listen, I was more hyper than wrestling the Ultimate Warrior. Okay. But anyway, man, I'm like this. She's with Chris. And seriously, I should have never did that. Chris would probably still be around today.
Wow.
I loved Chris, man. He was younger than me. All right. And he looked up to me. Once again, I didn't get that. I never, I mean, even him, Beck, I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't even understand Joel. I mean, seriously, most people are sick of me in the first hour. How long we been going? No, seriously. I was blessed so much by being in Chris's life and having Chris in my life. The Tammy part, not a good thing. But we had the tag team titles. We were running through Cabrini College with the tag team belts in our underwear. I could tell you the truth, but I'm not allowed to.
Remove one thing.
We had the tag team titles. We were out of our minds, man. And then I don't know, man. I started getting burned out, and I didn't want to perform like a circus monkey for people anymore. And it wasn't the fans. It was the promoters. It was truly the promoters that put, I couldn't stand the business. I'm telling you, 35 years, no one's talking to me. Seriously, no one's picked up the phone and went, "Hey, Johnny, you want to work? You want to work at the WWE?" Yo, those guys all there, they'll say, "Oh, Johnny Hotbod is the only reason why there was an ECW." Did they ever call Tony? No. Did they ever call me? No. You know what? Keep the money. Keep the money. I would have loved to have been there. You know what I mean? Who doesn't get in the business and say, "Hey, listen, I want to be there. I don't want to be here." You want to travel. You want to make a name for yourself. You want to leave a legacy in the business. You're telling me I left a legacy in the business. I feel I left a snail trail. You know what I mean? But anyway, it's only in South Philly. And for the people that are out there that hear me, I really, really am honored that you would even take the time to look into who I am, what these people are giving me props about, because I don't see it.
Well, you know what? Listen to me. Okay, stop that right now. Because you know what? In talking to you, listen to me, I'm serious. In talking to you and seeing your matches, all right, you need to understand something from my perspective. Now, understand, and I'm going to say this again, I've been involved in wrestling for 60 years. Okay. When I say involved in wrestling, I had a radio show. I was a promoter. I always, and this never changed, I never left wrestling. I had wrestlers at my house for 60 years, having dinners, being my friend. Jeannie could tell you they were there all the time, all the time. But what I'm trying to say is, I think I can honestly say I have enough knowledge and enough experience to be able to tell you that even if you're not a legend in the WWE, don't sell yourself short, because you are a legend in the
Well,
people
thank
who
you.
know you, in the people who remember you, in the people who you entertained when you worked for Joel, when you worked in the ECW, when you did those fantastic matches with Tony Stetson. You got to understand, do not sell yourself short. You are what you are, and you have earned those accolades. So don't ever sell yourself short, because people want to see you. People remember you. You belong where you are. You belong there. And if I hear you put yourself down again, I'm going to
It's not
tell
that.
Erica to smack you.
I am not. I am. I am not putting myself down. What I'm saying is, I put the business above me. Seriously, those other guys, you know, I'm fortunate and blessed. That's not putting myself,
No, but don't
know.
say that you don't understand why people
No.
feel that way. People
Does
feel that way
everyone?
because
Does
they want
everyone
to.
get it? But see, here's the thing for me. This is because I'm in the business. All right, I don't see the smoke and mirror end of it, because I know the real end of the business. I understand the business totally now. I didn't understand it then. I let my
Right.
ego get the best of me. I was given titles to be given an ego, tag team titles all over the place, tag team partners, heavyweight. I think I may be, now listen, the only guy in ECW to have the television title, tag team title on numerous accounts, and heavyweight championship, which was Tri-State Wrestling Alliance. Then it was ECW heavyweight title. I held it into the transition. Yeah, not long. Yeah, I held it like toilet paper right through me. But yeah, I am thankful. I am so thankful. And I don't want to come off wrong. I don't want to, but I don't have that ego. I don't have that ego, and I appreciate everything everyone says to me. And I don't want to be Johnny Hot Body no more, man. I buried it.
Anybody sees that guy.
If
just walk the
anybody
other way.
if anyone sees that guy, run the other way. 35 years, they said, beat it, dude. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something.
But
I'm
thank
pretty
you.
impressed.
Thank you, Carmela. Thank you, Jeannie. Bay, I love you, and you understand where I'm coming from. The smoke and mirrors,
Yeah.
it's not like I actually truly pinned the Rock. It's not like I actually did jobs more than I ever did put anybody over. I refused to put Taz over and the ass clowns that came out of that Paulie circus, quite seriously. And I'm like, Tony, we got to go. This place is, can't you see that? Can't you see what's going on here, dude? Let's go. Time to go. But
yeah. Well, I got to tell you, I'm pretty impressed with what I'm seeing right now.
Well, thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
Agreed.
Right there.
And I mean
that's the only thing that keeps Johnny Hot Body alive. Triple bypass surgery.
God bless you.
My neck's fused together. My shoulders are hinged. I have knee problems. I have back problems. It's like I have 3 granddaughters that are beautiful. I have 2 sons that grown up and done great for me. Those are the things I'm truly proud of.
And you're right.
The wrestling, I'm proud to have had a job. That's how I look at it. There you go, Bay. Is that best putting it? I'm proud to have a job in entertainment when, believe it or not, I'm not social and I don't like media. And I really don't say much.
Well, with all that said, I am quite honored that you agreed to do our podcast. Okay.
Thank you so
That
much.
means the world to us. Now we're going to take another little break. We're going to go back to Bay for a second.
Okay.
And we're going to rerun a little bit of what is coming up for WrestleCon. And we're going to give you the spotlight for enough time to have you rerun everything. What's happening? Who is already announced? What's going on that you can tell us?
All right, so WrestleCon in the afternoon of May 3rd, 2025, from noon to 3:30, we're going to have the stars of the TWA, guys like Johnny Hotbody, Tony Stetson, DC Drake, Joel Goodhart. We're going to have Jimmy Jannetty, Glenn Osborne, Donnie Allen, some of the newer stars of the second generation of the TWA, Breaker Morant, Chris Wilde, and some others. We're going to be making more announcements. We're going to have the full lineup and roster of everybody. But we're going to also have, so far announced, Sabu, who also, too, technically got his start in Philadelphia in the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance. We're going to have Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez.
Oh, that's my guy.
The wife of the late, great legend, icon, Bruiser Brody, Miss Barbara Goodish.
Love her.
And the people I announced tonight. We have Doug Gilbert, Wildfire Tommy Rich, Shane Douglas, and the mystery partner will all be part of WrestleCon.
Now, the mystery partner, is no one going to know until the night of the show?
Exactly.
Got it.
Wow.
Nobody's going to know until the music hits.
Got it.
Ooh. Wow. Go ahead, Johnny.
Hey, Bay, if that mystery guest doesn't draw tickets, I'm bringing Erica.
Oh, Erica has to be on every interview from now on, because then we're going to sell out for sure.
There you go. That's it, Erica. You're hired.
Cool.
Okay, now, again, with the banner, please understand this banner has to go up, and the petition has to be signed. Please, if any of you have already signed it, please get a friend, a mom, a dad, a spouse, a child, anybody, one other person to sign it, okay? They don't have to know anything about wrestling. We need 1,000 signatures for this to be able to work. So I'm begging you, please, let's get this going. Also, Jeannie, you're good at this with the tickets and the after party. Why don't you talk about that?
Yes, there's going to be an after party after the show. In order to get in to the after party, you must come with your paid ticket from the show. In order
Not
to get in.
WrestleCon, one and done.
WrestleCon, one and done. It's going to be at the old, I'm always going to call it the Marriott, Airport Marriott, because it is what it is. What's it called now?
Now it's the Doubletree.
The Doubletree.
The Doubletree by Hilton.
Yes, on Island Avenue. And like I said, in order to get into that famous bar that I practically grew up in,
Definitely.
You need to have your ticket stub. So don't just throw it away after you get in, and all that kind of stuff, which a lot of people do just out of habit. Make sure you hold on.
Guard it with your life.
So, and get in, and one ticket for one person. You can't have one ticket and bring your spouse or your child, or, well, not child, but friends, and get to go in. So it's going to be a blast. And also, if you want to get a room at the Doubletree, there are special rates for that. So
we have
you get
the
a
link.
little tipsy, it gets a little wild. Go up to your room, no drinking and driving, no, none of that. And there's special rates if you say you're with the one and done.
Okay, Bay? Do you have the rates yet?
I do. I don't know what they are. There's a link. I have a link.
Well, there's always a link.
I'm sharing freaking links out for everything. I have links
There's
for
always a
banners,
link.
links for hotels, links for tickets, links to say hello to me. I got links for everything. So,
Well, let's do this. When we sign off and when our podcast drops, which will be tomorrow after I get home from work, what we'll do is we'll post the show, and then they hit us with your links, like they say, hit us with your best shot, and tag us, and we'll share it, and we'll go with that. Also, again, I didn't forget you, Johnny. We're coming back to you. I just want to say very quickly that at the end of this podcast, Jeannie and I are going to talk about an event that we went to together Saturday night. Finally, after how many times, Jeannie? I didn't go.
I lost count.
Finally, I got to go and meet Super Crazy. I'm so excited.
Oh, speaking of which, just really quick, because I have a message for Bay. From Darren.
That's right.
I gave him your message. I smacked him upside the head. Said, fuck you. And he's like, who's that from? And I told him, and he just started dying laughing. And then he smacked me in the head and said, tell him, I said, give that to him the next time you see him, and tell him I said, fuck you. I went down to Nashville and you go.
Oh, you dogged him. He said you dogged him.
You dogged him
in Nashville. Yeah,
you know, I work like a fucking jackass, like 50, 60 hours a week. And everybody comes here and they're like in the middle of the day, like, oh, come on down. I'm like, yeah, I'm working. Like I work sometimes 12, 14 hours a day. And they're like, all right, well, you want to come out? I'm like, I just got done work. I work at Moe's Southwest Water. I got my Moe's orange outfit on and shit. I don't want to go downtown after I just worked 14 hours. I love you, but no.
Well, I got to tell you, if I came to Nashville and I wanted to see you, and I don't care if you worked 50 hours, I would drag your butt with the orange suit on and everything.
Yeah, but you're different.
And you'd be going with me.
You're different. You
I
fucking
better
cooked,
be.
You cooked for me. If
Thank you. Okay, Johnny, let's get back to you now.
Okay.
Let me ask you. Let me just ask you this honestly, okay?
Oh boy.
What is it? I know that you have, besides the fact that you were an excellent wrestler, no doubt about it. Besides the fact that you trailed a blaze, okay, a big one. You blazed a trail. You trailed a blaze. Either way you look at it, you did both. All right.
Yoda.
The third one, the third one is everybody has what the wrestling group calls sour grapes about the wrestling. I do. Okay. I have my my sour parts about things that happened to me and happened to us when we were doing promotions and the radio show. Like I was saying with Jeannie, even now on our podcast, we've had people not show up. We've had people, say they were coming and then we're ready to go on the air and nobody. And Jeannie and I had to just fudge it by ourselves. What was the worst part? What has hurt you the most about wrestling? And all right, now listen to me. Wait, listen to me. I know that you were told not to mention a name. Okay, I know that. I understand that. Let's call this person Tommy. If that's who you want to talk about.
Tommy, can you hear me? Tommy, can you feel me?
Don't go too far. You'll get a copyright strike.
Oh, yeah. Wait,
yeah. Don't. You can't do that. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sour,
all right.
Sour Tommy.
All right. So when I met Joel and Dennis Carluzzo, who was a great man to me, helped me a lot. Larry Sharp, absolutely instrumental in helping me. I was on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine before Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
God bless you. And see, that's what I'm saying. Don't sell yourself short, okay?
Yeah. I loved the business. I really did. I wasn't the tallest guy, but like little Ray, I had my heart and love for the business. And when you have a career that starts off with a ball of fire, like you said, I never started off seriously. Wow, I have to say that paying my dues was going up to the WWF, doing jobs. Paying my dues was putting guys over in Larry Sharp's school, getting my first concussion from Jungle Jim McPherson, who helped put truly like a short. See, in the business, you have to have a memory, and with that being my first concussion, I sat there 2 hours with a title being handed to me, which he had a problem giving me. All right, but that didn't take away my love for the business. I still put my heart into it. Joel, oh my God. Whew. All right. Joel put me up here. I go in and I slip in Tommy's shit. And this guy snowballs me, man. He snowballs me. He tells you everything you want to hear. And he's not in charge of this, but he's not in charge of that. He owned 100% of a company. He owned a name. He sold 51% of the company to Paulie. And kept 49% of the company for himself, but kept the call letters. So anytime any asshole wants to say those letters, he was getting paid.
Wow.
I ain't got no money to pay you guys. Ain't no money to pay you guys. What guys you talking about? You want to give all these guys this, that, and other things. But let me tell you something. You know, I was a juice head. I had my own demons. I really didn't like playing with anything more than marijuana. Not wanting to play the snowman game. Introducing him to someone who was a cancer to ECW. He was a cancer to everyone he met. And he was a cancer to the fucking locker room. I'm standing back. I'm watching my hopes, my heart. It started with a freaking dude that called himself a hot piece of shit. Then it was laid into the laps of another one telling me there's not room enough for a hot body when there's a hot stuff. And you're a mark for yourself. You're the king. You're the champion. You're the man that invented ice cream, aren't you? Aren't you? I wouldn't kiss that piece of shit's ass. I wouldn't give him toilet paper to wipe it. You want to come up with ideas that Tommy, John, we're going to make you the king of South Philly. Where'd it go? Who was wearing that crown? Wow. Johnny, we're going to. Man, oh man. And then the next ass clown. There's where Tony and like I'm seeing the right, and I actually walked away from Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling, which I gave it that name. I did a title. I was holding title with the Bulldog Brower, with Woman, with DC Drake, with Larry Winters, and I said, I'm too extreme for wrestling. And they took that and made it ECW. Right, Paulie? Yeah.
And you also found the 2300 arena, correct?
It was listen, everybody in South Philly's a cuz. I'm in tight in South Philly with all, I'm going to say, this time it means nothing. I went to school with Joey Merlino.
So did my ex.
Okay, my cousins, my family,
Yeah.
all ties to the people that were at that time running real estate, whatever it was, whatever. And that Tommy, oh, we need a place to wrestle. Well,
Is
I
that what
got
it was called, John? Real estate?
Sour Tommy.
Shut up,
Tom.
Bay.
No, Tom. I went and got that for Tommy. And here was the deal. Everybody out there on YouTube, this is not a lie because Johnny doesn't lie. He may hold his tongue only because he's being asked to. Seriously, but I'm not holding my tongue on much, am I? Yeah, see how this works out for everybody. So I get that arena, and the deal is that I wasn't looking to be rich. I just wanted to be a part of it. I loved it, man. Payday out the ass. All of a sudden, you want a job. You want me to do why? Wait a minute. This is mine. That arena. It's basically my family's. You told them that I'd be on every card. I was headline everywhere. I wrestled in Memphis. I wrestled Jeff Jarrett. I wrestled Billy Joe Travis. I wrestled Jeff Gaylord. I was in the tag teams down there. I wasn't a fan of Jerry Lawler's when he asked me to stay. Not for $20 a night, buddy. Suck it. But anyway, yeah. You want to erase me off the history. You want to know, people look this up. I'm not even listed as the champion, heavyweight champion in TWA. Really, I don't know how bad I really did to people that I got to be blackballed off the TWA. I'm blackballed off of the ECW. Yeah, I'm the first champion as far as I'm concerned. Extreme Championship Wrestling. What are those call letters? ECW. I'm tag team champion more than once. I'm also television champion. No one else in ECW could take that claim. Not you, Troy. You hear me, Troy? You didn't invent ECW. You didn't invent Extreme Championship Wrestling. And neither did I, truthfully, at that time. You asked me for my feelings. Oh, my God, this 30-year demon. But, this is the things that I felt at that time. You asked me what I felt at that time. I didn't like Troy, okay? I started the Sandman in the business. Did he give me any respect? No, I didn't snort coke. I didn't drink beer. And I didn't bring myself to that level that I didn't want to be a part of, man. I love Jimmy. When Jimmy turned into the Sandman, different dude, night and day. 30 years, I can't wait to see him because I hope he's Jimmy, because Jimmy really was a great guy. I know everybody talks about he did this, he did this. Yeah, he did do those drugs. And yeah, man, this is what another thing that drove me away from that locker room. I didn't want to be a part of that, man, because a lot of the legacy that ECW leaves behind is a bunch of dead guys that died of overdoses, junkies, turned guys into pill popping freaks. You know what I mean? Dudes that would let you sleep with their wife just so they would get some drugs on the side. Whoa. You asked me why I wanted out of the business. It wasn't what I fell in love with. Quite seriously. Now, there's a lot of old timers that might resent if they even pay attention to Johnny Hotbody, because to them, I don't even matter. This is why I say I matter in Philly, maybe. But, this is, my feelings don't sit well with a lot of people when they hear that, because the old school mentality's been gone. That new school mentality that came in, I hope the new guys that come in hear this interview and go, wow, man, seriously? Is that what it was really like? Paulie, you really are a piece of shit. You really are a piece of shit, Paulie.
I don't think.
And it's not an act. It's not an act, man. And I don't think too many people care, because you know what? They sell their mother. They sold their soul. They sold the contract. And Johnny Hotbody, I don't have a career. I have this banner, and I have the proud ability to say that Johnny's ass wasn't open for anyone to run through it. Pat Patterson included.
Well said.
Good for you. Now, listen, I want to say something here, and I want to talk to the people for a second because this is very important to me. All right. I don't know how anybody else feels. Okay. Bay, I know you've been in the business for a long time. Jeannie, you've been around for a long time. Johnny, you certainly have. But I have too. And I want everybody to understand this is why we do this podcast, because we want stories. We want to know what people like Johnny went through. Okay. We have had people on the show, Manny Fernandez. We have had Davey O'Hannon. We have had Cody Michaels. We have had Mick Foley. We have had so many wrestlers on here that have talked about what it was like years ago, because wrestlers years ago had to find their own transportation. They had to make their own hotel room. They had it, and they didn't even go to hotels. They sat in the car, slept in the car. Maybe we're lucky enough to find somebody's house to stay in, mostly mine if they were in Philly. Okay. But a lot of the fans don't understand. They watch the WWE, they watch the AEW, they watch TNA. They're fine, and that's wonderful. But what they don't understand is stories like this. They don't understand what goes on behind the scenes. They don't understand that when a wrestler comes into the ring, they have to take everything that they're feeling. If they're happy that night, or if they're miserable that night, or if they're crying their eyes out before they come in the ring, they have to come in the ring and be up and be happy and this and that. Why? Because in Johnny's time, it was for the fans. Today, it's for the camera. There's a difference. It's a big difference, okay? When Johnny was wrestling and he went through all this horrible stuff that he went through, okay, it was because when wrestling first started out, when back then it was 1,000% cut through. 1,000% cut through. Because if the internet was around back then, all this stuff would not have happened the way it did, okay? This man would not be sitting here right now thinking that, only Philadelphia knows who he is, or thinking that, he's got a lot of demons or ghosts from 30 years ago, okay? We all have that, but I get it. You need to understand that what he's saying is very, very real. The difference between back then and what may be happening today is that today, because there are cameras, because there's the internet, because there's TV, because there's a million bajillion people watching now who know a lot about wrestling, now it's all monitored. Everything is monitored. You're not allowed to go out into the ring and be pissed off. You're not allowed to talk to a fan. You're not allowed to do this or not allowed to do that. That's why when people come on my show, I let them say what they want to say. As long as it's the truth, and as long as you did experience it, you can say what you want to say. Yes, dear, go ahead.
On what you just said, these are my truths. I lived them, and I could say them. Anyone could put a spin on it any way they want. But you want to know something? A lot of people have stepped on the wrestling tights of Johnny Hotbody. And that's the truth. And I don't even care. Now it's behind me. The only one thing I told you I wish I would have had was a legacy like guys like Kevin Sullivan and Abby, Freddie Blassie, superstar Billy Graham, like that. Mm-hmm. I'm honored to be held some part of this history. I really, truly, 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 truly am. What I say, like I said, are my truths, and I lived them. No one else may have even felt that Johnny seen it that way at that time. Mm-hmm. But I know I was an asshole. I know that first, so I had an ego. Mm-hmm. Bob Ortiz used to say 300 pounds with his ego. He wasn't kidding. That's okay. But it's like I put this out there. I don't want anybody to think I'm bitter because I have moved on. if I wasn't asked to do this, I wouldn't be showing up to anything. I don't have a web page. I don't have a website. I don't have a book. I don't have underwear to sell. I don't have that. I don't have that ego that's trying to push something.
But he's got a shirt that will raise thousands of dollars.
Listen,
I was just going to say that.
Buy my interview time. Seriously.
I'm the proud owner
This
of
is-
Johnny Hot Body T-shirt.
She has the one and only Johnny
I
Hot
made
Body
it.
T-shirt. She made it.
There you go.
I paid for it.
Oh, that's all right. No, but you know what? But you know what you're going to have. Okay, this is important. On May 3rd. Okay,
I can't wait.
You're
really
gonna
think
have-
So
you're going to have your legacy along with
Yes.
everybody else. You're going to leave a legacy because you know what, Johnny? This podcast will live forever. Your
Yeah.
words will live forever. And that day on May 3rd, when that banner is dropped, your name is going to be on that. And you know what? It's going to be there forever. Okay,
I'm-
so you know what? All these other
Beautiful.
people can kiss
Yeah.
your ass in plain English. Okay.
kiss it.
Because this is something you worked for. This is something you deserve. And I have to tell you, I seriously look forward to this interview. And you know, not one time was I worried about what anything you were going to say.
I
Because I
was.
knew, yeah, you shut up.
Did I
But I
go
know-
overboard? Did I go
No, not at
overboard?
all.
No.
Not at all. This is
No,
my podcast.
I said, for real, and I left his name out of there. But
Yeah.
I'll tell
That's
you this:
okay.
I am really, truly honored to be on that banner with Larry. Larry first. Larry means a lot to me. Yes, he does. Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Larry
yeah.
Winters and I went through a lot together. He helped me. He really, really did. It was him, Steve Truitt. Those guys believed in me. Well, check it out. But seriously, Tony Stetson, DC Drake, Larry Winters, and to me, the one real God, Joel.
Well, you know what? You have to believe in yourself first. And like I
Oh.
said, people, believe it or not, I don't have a whole lot of listeners, but people do listen to the show.
Well, thank
And
you.
and it's important, okay? Because I'm just starting out myself and it's important. But I think that everybody whose name is on that banner will be able to leave a beautiful legacy behind. Your
Yes.
children, okay? Your grandchildren are going to look at that 10, 20, 30 years from now and say, that was my grandpa. That was my dad. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's what you're going to leave behind. And that's what's important. Just remember that. None of this is important. That is what's going to be important. That's the reason I started this podcast, because somebody came to me and said to me, don't you want to leave a legacy for your children? And I never thought of it. I never thought of it. And now I am proud as hell, because when my mother died, I didn't even have a recording of her voice, and she sang. She cut a record, and I don't even have that. And that breaks my heart every day. But your kids are going to have this, and they're going to have that banner, and they're going to have the legacy on YouTube of Johnny Hotbody. And don't you ever forget that.
I won't. Then again, concussions, yeah. Eric
Well,
will
you
remind
know,
That's what I do.
but that's okay. That's okay. All right, Bay, let's do this again, because Jeannie and I have some stuff we need to talk about. So let's talk about the May 3rd. Let's talk about WrestleCon. Let's talk
All
about
right,
the after party.
May 3rd. Look, from the time you open your eyes on May 3rd to the time you close them, probably on May 4th, you are going to have the time of your life reliving the history of the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, the history of Joel, Carmela, Paul, Squared Circle Fan Club, Ringmasters Wrestling School, everything that was involved from day one through that date of January, I think it was 18th or 19th, 1992. We are going to bring it all back. We're going to have a lot of fun. And I'm going to tell you this. And I'm going to be a selfish son of a bitch right now. And I'm going to say this. I am planning to make the wrestling world open their eyes and speak and talk and be like, holy shit. Because I plan to bring you a lot of holy shit moments on the night of May 3rd that's going to have the whole fucking business talking, because we are going to pay respect, we're going to pay tribute, we're going to pay honor, and we are going to have a great fucking time in the whole course of that day. So bring it. Let's do it. Let's have a ball. Get your tickets, 2300arena.com. Tickets are on sale for WrestleCon. $20 in advance, $25 at the door. So don't snooze on that extra $5 because that's another beer in your belly. And then we're gonna take a little break, and then we're gonna open them doors back up, and we're gonna have a show that's gonna have your emotions go on an absolute roller coaster of smiles, pops, cries, and absolute euphoria for the wrestling business. And then we're going back to the DoubleTree, aka the True Philly Marriott, and we are going to have the time of our lives. And
Yes.
also, too, remember this. This show is called One and Done. It's truly one and done. There's a lot of one and done moments that are happening that night. You got Tony Stetson's last match. You got Breaker Morant's last match. And a lot of these people, it could be the last time you either see them in a wrestling ring in Philly or outside a wrestling ring in the Philadelphia area. So make sure your ass is there, because you're going to regret it if you're not.
Yes.
Okay, you heard it right here. Now, Johnny and Bay, I'm going to ask you, do you want to stay on the air with us while Jeannie and I do some other wrestling talking? Do you want to do that, or do you want me to get you off? Whatever you want to do is fine with me.
Past my bedtime.
Okay.
I have to take my heart medicine, and I'll pass out in a half hour as soon as I take that.
You're not going to
Blood
watch the
pressure
Tyson
down.
fight?
Oh, what about the Tyson fight?
You're not
Now
gonna watch
Tyson
who?
and the Tyson, Mike Tyson, and Jake
But it's
Paul are
like-
going to box
Hey.
tonight.
Tyson don't have a shirt that looks as good as Johnny.
It's like he fought Mike Tyson. He just goes to sleep.
No, seriously, we don't watch. We don't buy into that propaganda, man. Come on. Come
I
on,
don't
man.
blame you. I don't blame you.
I watch no pro sports. I'm a pro athlete that knows every pro sport is fixed.
There you go. They are very much so fixed.
Yes.
Everything. I remember my mother. Well, my mother constantly told me that, but there's a proven fact that the World Series of 1939 was
That's
fixed.
right.
I'm just
Oh,
telling you that right now. Yep,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Oh.
Okay, we're going to say goodbye to you, Johnny, then.
Oh, thank
Go
you
enjoy
so
your
much.
medicine
you.
and go to sleep.
Good night,
Okay.
Jeannie. Good night, Carmela.
Good night,
Thank-
Erica.
Good night.
Good night,
I
Johnny.
will talk to you,
Erica,
brother.
Everybody,
Thank
I love you
for
guys.
being off.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yo,
Johnny, I got to tell
I'll
you.
buzz you over the weekend.
All right.
Johnny,
All right.
I gotta tell you, honestly, before we let you go,
Yeah.
what a fantastic interview and
Yes.
honor it was to
Yes,
have you.
one of my
Wow.
favorites.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Seriously,
don't-
the concussion moments and the tangents. You know, I
You know, my mother used to tell me,
You were
and
brilliant.
I want
you were brilliant.
you were brilliant. And
Well,
Erica
thank you.
reminded him of this. My mother used to tell me, my mother, God rest her soul, she died at 48. I was just a kid. My mother used to always tell me, never forget who you are. And don't you ever forget who Johnny Hotbody is. Do you understand me? Never forget who you are. I love you.
I love you all. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And
Take
goodbye
care.
to the YouTube listening audience. I bid you
Okay.
adieu.
Adieu. Ciao, buddy. Okay,
Good night.
bye-bye.
Good night.
Oh my
I
God!
love
What a
Cameron
great,
Hart.
what a
Oh
great
my
show!
God.
Love him to death. Erica, everybody was great.
Yes.
Bay, do you want to stay with us while we talk?
I'll tell you what.
wrestling?
I want to stay, but you guys talk. I'm going to run to the bathroom and coming back.
You do that. See you later.
All right.
Okay. All right, Jeannie. All right, people. Number one, Saturday we went to see Super Crazy. Okay. Now I
Yes.
got to tell you, Jeannie will then fill you in on all the stuff. But when I went there purposely because I wanted to meet the people who are in charge of Super Crazy. Jeannie will help me with the names because I only heard them once. Darren, right?
Yes.
All right. Darren is the boss. Okay. Him
Yes.
and his girlfriend or wife, Denise, and they run it, and they have a wrestling school called
Skid Row Academy.
Skid Row Academy. If anybody's interested in going to a wrestling school, write to us at 316carmela@gmail.com. Now, when we went there, we had beyond a blast. I'm going to tell you
Yes.
my part of it, and then Jeannie can pick it up. I sat in the front row with Jeannie and Frank Chili. We had a wonderful time. 99% of the time, I sit in the front row, a wrestler falls on my knees. Now, we all know I have bad knees.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah. 2 or 3 times, wrestlers came, landed right in front of my knees. Okay. One wrestler literally put his hand on my knee and gave me his hand so Frank and I could help him get up. Okay. It was crazy. And then this one wrestler, and I forget his name. Don't tell me, Jeannie. It was Cass.
Devious Cass.
Okay. He was in the ring, and he's from North Philly, where I am. And he said in the ring, they were teasing him about being from North Philly. So he saw me sitting in front row for some reason. I don't know. And he looked at me and he said, "What are you looking at, old lady?" And I said to him, "Whoa." I said, I'm from North Philly too. You better watch it. And he said, "What, looking like that? You're from North Philly?" Well, I was like, "Oh, hell no. This is not over." Okay. So at the end of the night, if you look on Facebook, you'll see me with my picture taken with Primal Fear. And I had both belts on, one on each shoulder. Anyway, after that, I waited. I said to Jeannie, I gotta wait for him to come out. I gotta go attack him. I'm gonna go kick his butt. Well, he came out and I walked up to him. And as soon as he saw me, he was like, "Oh my God." He's like, "I am so sorry." He goes, "I didn't mean anything by that." He goes, "It was part of the match." And, and I'm like, "What part of the match?" And I looked at him and I said, "Let me ask you a question. What exactly makes me look like I'm not from North Philly?" And he looked at me, he goes, "I don't know. I'm sorry." He was just a kid. He had to be 22, 23, right? And I said to him, "Well, I am from North Philly. I'm from 11th and Ontario." And he was like, "Get out, really?" He said, "I'm from Frankfurt." And I was like, "Yeah, we're both from North Philly." And we had a nice conversation. And he was like, "Thank you for being a good sport," and blah, blah, blah. I said, "No, I'm fine with all that, except for the fact that, you call me an old lady." And he goes, "No, I didn't mean it. But anyway, he was wonderful.
Yes.
Meeting everybody was wonderful. Jeannie, it's all you.
And he did it again. This was 2 times that I know about, but I was told it was actually the 3rd time that he broke the bottom rope of the ring.
Yes, he did.
Throwing
his opponent.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The whole bottom part of the ring came apart.
His name just escaped me.
What, his opponent?
Steve Carino's son.
Oh my God. Yes. Colby.
Thank you.
Colby. Yeah.
Talk about concussions and Alzheimer's.
And I remember Colby when he was 14, when he first started wrestling. Now he's a grown man with children and he's married. My God.
You know what's crazy? I was just thinking about this the other day. I remember when Steve with his first wife found out they were pregnant with Colby. And we were all do you guys remember it was called Philly Rock on Delaware Avenue?
Yes,
by the old movie theater. A bunch of us went there after we worked the show one night. It was Steve Richards was there too, and a bunch of us. And Steve was telling us, and we were all like, "Dude, like, you're going to be a dad. How are you going to be involved in the wrestling business? Like, forget it. Like, your career's over." Boy, did he prove us wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
Babe, refresh my memory. Wasn't Colby, he was at the ECWA Super 8 Legacy, right? And
in South Philly.
Right. Mm-hmm. And wasn't his wife going into labor that day? I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering.
Really? I don't know.
Because, I'm senile. But I'm pretty sure after his either
it wouldn't surprise me.
He had to get out of there because his wife was in labor and heading to the hospital. Wow. Yeah.
Well, anyway, we had the most fantastic night. We really did. It was fun. It was fantastic. It was worth it. It really, really was. I am a flake, okay? I always try and get out of doing things, and I'm sorry, but I do. But I'm so glad I went. I enjoyed it so much. We're going to go again, and we're going to have Primal Fear. I have to call them yet. We're going to have Primal Fear in a show.
Primal Fear are awesome.
They are. They're wonderful people. Very, very nice. And we're going to have Darren and Denise on. I already booked them for January.
Nice.
And again, we're going to talk about their school. We're going to talk about everything. And anybody who wants to go and learn how to be a wrestler, feel free, because Primal Fear are the trainers, right, Jeannie?
Yes.
Okay. So give us the names of the gentlemen who are Primal Fear, please.
We have Matthew Oman and Gabriel Hodder. And right now he's out on injured reserve, shall we say. But Adrian Soriano. So those are the three that make up Primal Fear. And me and Frank fight over them all the time. Me and Frank Foley. And we absolutely love and adore them. And they're awesome wrestlers. They work their butts off. You just know. You just say it. And a lot of those guys. Devious Cass he's new, but he is
good.
Amazing.
He's good.
Homeless Vaughn.
Oh my God.
Vaughn,
so good.
He's so good. He's so good.
He let me touch his boob.
Well, I put your hand on his boob.
Put my hand up on his boob. That was funny.
Because Darren did that to me to him before, and it was like, okay, you got to feel us.
Yeah, I mean, he was rock hard. But I got to tell you, and Jeannie, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of those wrestlers, or some of those wrestlers, are students at that school. And I got to tell you, man, they busted their butts.
Right?
I mean, I'm talking
Tim Dynamite, who I love and adore as well. Well, you know me, I love the bad boys, so. But they all go to, and that's where they train, and they work at other promotions as well, but they mainly train at Skid Row Academy and work for Darren at Super Crazy. So, but yeah, they're just so good. They really are. They're just so good.
The next show is going to be the 7th of December, I believe.
Yes. I don't have a time or anything, but yeah.
And there was another show that I promised a fan that I would give an announcement to, but I'm going to be sincerely honest with you. I lost the paper. I don't have it with me. You know who you are. Get in touch with me and give me the name. I know that Nunzio is going to be on the card. I know that Mike Kalua will be on that card. I don't have the date, but I guarantee you next week we will announce it. So
if I'm not mistaken, I think it's this weekend. I think.
Oh, really?
This weekend? I don't remember.
Yes.
But I think it's this weekend. Yeah.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
It's in Gloucester City.
Yeah, same place as Darren's show.
So again, please forgive me. I normally don't do that, but I left the paper at work, and I apologize. But now the other thing I want to talk about real quick is I love Will Ospreay. We all know that. I say it all the time. He just came back. I got to say this, and then I'm going to end the show. He just came back from an injury, but actually he was really in Japan. Okay. But he's going to go against his best friend, Kyle Fletcher. They had a falling out kind of thing or whatever. Anyway, I have a friend that I work with. Her name is Stacy, and she doesn't curse. So whenever she wants to say mother effer, she says mother lover. Okay. And we laugh and we talk about it and everything. So at this interview, Will is saying to his friend, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You think you're big and you have all this title and this and that. You want this and that. And he looks him real close in the face and goes, well, I'm the mother lover who's going to take it away from you. And I almost peed myself. So I came to work and I had to tell Stacy, I had to let her hear it. We were all laughing at work. It was great. I am going to tell you this. I'm going to say this in public. I wrote a letter to Will Ospreay. He has an organization called Will Ospreay Limited. It's in the UK. So I took a chance. It's out on my living room coffee table. We're going to mail it tomorrow. And I wrote to him and just told him, as a young man, his parents have to be so proud of him. He's a wonderful person. He stepped up for his best friend who passed away, his son, and I just love him. I think he's amazing. Not only that, but he's an excellent wrestler, and I just love him. And I keep saying, if somebody knows Will Ospreay who's listening, please tell him I said hello, and I love him. Okay. Anyway, one and done. 2025, May 3rd. Okay, at the 2300 arena. The WWE just had an NXT show there, but I believe that the one and done is more of a legacy. It's more of a tribute. It's more of an honor to that building than what the WWE did. And that's just how I feel about it. I think it's important for everybody to listen to the show. It's important for everybody to get the information. It's important for everybody to go. Hopefully, we'll be able to see each other. We'll see. But, let's get it going. Mr. Dudley, you got one last announcement before we cut you off.
I just love you all.
We love you too.
We love you too.
We love you. And you're going to be back next week, God
and
willing.
What can I do? I just have one little shady question here.
Oh.
What can I bribe you with? I can send you some, chicken cutlets. They won't be Carmela's, they'll be mine, but or peanut chews or whatever it is to get you to tell me who the mystery partner is. Because I'm dying.
Oh.
Well,
I know. I'll
tell you what.
Asshole Joel won't let you say, so it's fine. I get it, but I just thought I'd throw that question out there.
I'll say this because I am the booker.
Yes.
And I put this match together, and I kept saying it to Joel, and it wasn't clicking with Joel. And when it finally clicked, he was like, "Oh," and then we made the call. And it clicked even more. And then he was like, "I fucking hate you."
Well, hopefully we'll hear about it. Maybe. If not, it'll be that night.
May 3rd, you're going to hear about it.
When you will hear
Let me tell you something. When that music goes off and that crowd pops, because people are going to be shocked.
I'm telling you right now, it better not be glass breaking.
Oh!
Don't say it.
No, I'm not. But I think I know.
Okay.
I'm probably wrong, but
well, God willing, next week we're gonna have Heidi Lee Morgan if everything goes well.
Nice.
Faye, we'll see you again next week.
Awesome.
Jeannie, we'll see you. Yes. Of course. I'll talk to you during the week. Faye, I'll talk to you during the week. Beyond excited tonight. I believe was a wonderful show. I'm grateful, very grateful to Johnny Hotbody. And now it's time to go and get some dinner and then watch wrestling. Of course, that's what I do every night.
Well, but I'm not watching wrestling. I'm going to attempt to watch the Mike Tyson thing just because I'm curious, because I really just wanted to see him.
I want to see this
kill it, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I want him to
I heard
out in the first round. I know it's not going to happen, but I want.
Yeah, I don't know if this is true or not, but if it is true, it's wrong. I heard that Jake Paul is getting $40 million. Mike Tyson's only getting 10.
20.
20. Okay, I heard 10, but that's still not right. But whatever, it's whatever. They really shouldn't, in my opinion.
Oh, I'll take $20 million.
I thought you said I'd take 10. I was telling the people at work today, I said for $10 million, I would let somebody run me over. I mean, I don't care. I can live forever on $10 million.
Hell yeah.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, love you to death, both of you.
Yes.
And we will be on again next week. This will drop tomorrow. Please listen, please share, please like, and please subscribe. We love you so much, and we hope to keep you interested and to keep telling you stories that you can only get here. Okay, love you guys. Mwah.
All right, love
See you later.
Love you.
Okay, take care. Love you.